So today I have a very different type of video for you. I'm happy to announce I have finally hit 10,000 subscribers and I really can't believe it, and I'm super happy about it. Just as a personal milestone and for the channel, I'm super proud of all the work I've put in and how it has really given me some good results. I'm happy we've built a sort of community. I know I don't live stream as much anymore, but I've gotten to know a fair few of you. We talk on things like Reddit, we talk on Twitter, we used to talk in the live stream chat, and I will try and do some more again. But what this video is going to be is I'm going to answer some questions that people have sent me. I'm also going to thank a lot of people who have helped me, and patrons or people who've given me good advice or done some nice things for me. And yeah, if I miss anybody out, there are so many people. I was trying to think in my head, who are the people who've been commenting for like the last year, last 6 months, and I really don't want to miss anyone out, but I am going to, because there's so many of you to thank. So if I do, please comment and we can have a little chat, or you can talk about the first time you found my channel and I can talk about the first interaction we had. I do want to engage with you. I'm just sorry if I forget people. I didn't have time to go through a load of old videos and check who has been commenting. And also on the issue of comments, I read everyone's comments. I might not reply. I just simply don't have time anymore. I know I used to be a lot better, but I do read them. I do really appreciate them. They obviously help the channel. They help with the algorithm, but I'm always interested in your insights. So before we go any further, I want to thank the former and current patrons. So rest in peace to my former patrons, but I do really appreciate your contribution. I know a few of you are still subscribed as well. So shout out to Five Eyes, Fuzzy the Fair, Ranger Jenny, John D, Axtel, Isaac Varley and Daniel S. I super appreciate all the support you gave me. Now to the top tier, the patrons who are still around. Massive shout out to all these people. So Scrumtical, Steez for Real, Kunal, Dia, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Steph, Garlic Bread, EB, Salty Marshmallow, Mac, who has also been commenting on the channel for ages. I really appreciate all the donations, Mac. Eric the Brown Eric's another one who I've spoke to personally as well, so I really appreciate that. Melissa Meyer, I appreciate everything you've done. Sarah is another one of my patrons and she's done so much for me. My art for my profile picture was actually done by her, and she did it for free, and she also did it based on some offhand comment I made on a live stream about what I would love my profile picture to be based on, and the results are so great. And every time, I find myself, if Sarah's watching this, I find myself looking at the picture and I just think, this is so legit, this is so great, you're a really, really talented artist, and I super appreciate you doing that for me. On top of being a patron, I just appreciate all the support you've given me. John Belcher is another one. John has been a big Patreon supporter of mine. John has supported me for a long time. I appreciate all your comments, John. I do read them all. If I don't reply to them, I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, I appreciate you as well. And Zero Brit is the last one. Again, thanks a lot for your patronage. If you were to tell me when I started this channel, I would have such a great community of people and people willing to give me money and talk to me about politics and all this different stuff. It would really blow my mind. So while reflecting on 10k, I guess I should reflect on how lucky I am that people are so kind and generous, and people are just very, very friendly. And as someone who loves politics, loves history, and you can find it quite hard to have an outlet to talk about these things in real life, I do appreciate you guys giving me the platform to do that. And while I'm saying thank you, I'm thinking of people on the top of my head, people on Twitter like Kevin, like Bubble Boy, Red Leader, who I super appreciate talking to just because he really, really knows his stuff on history. Shout out to all you guys for commenting on a lot of videos. There are so many of you. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who are some notable ones. Kin, the guy with the Zelda profile picture, always on the live streams. I really appreciate your interaction as well. There's so many people. Ishmael as well is another one. And please comment if I left you out, because I'm really, really sorry about that. And if you're one of the people who asked the question, I didn't shout you out just because I'm going to say your name when I'm reading your question out, so don't get too offended yet. So let's get to the Q&A section. So Yasin is another guy I speak to a lot on Twitter who's followed me for a long time. What is your favourite energy drink? It's quite funny, I actually have it right here. It's not my favourite, it's one of my favourites at the moment. It's Monster Pacific Punch. It's really, really good. I've had it a lot recently. I actually blended it into cocktails. I don't know if any of you guys saw that on I think it was on my Twitter, and then I made a nice drink tonight as well. So yeah, that's my favourite energy drink. I also really like Monster Loco Roco as well. So if Monster, you're watching this, can you please hit me up about some sort of advertisement deal with me so I can promote your products and you can just give me free Monster. But as much as I like it, I limit myself to a maximum of 2 a week just because they're so bad for you. So Morphing Faces Alien Grey Moth Whistles asked me, what is your political alignment? Are you a socialist? I always find this question quite difficult to answer. I'd say what I would describe myself as an anti-capitalist, and that is the main thing, anti-capitalist. Obviously leftist is quite a broad label. You could say socialist, but the thing with me is that, for one, I don't have a very positive view of humanity. I don't have a very positive view of people in general. So with socialism, you've got to talk about humans cooperating and being a bit selfless. I don't really believe that's the case. I kind of find it hard to say I'm a socialist with this idea of building towards some sort of utopia. I'm happy to be educated about all these things and people who tell me how it's viable, but just because my own view of humanity is not very positive, I don't put a label on it. Yeah, so leftist, anti-capitalist, that's the main one. So I don't think I have to have all the answers to talk about how bad capitalism is. But yeah, some people are very passionate into their ideology. It's not something I'm as passionate, you know, I'm not reading Karl Marx or reading loads of anarchists or all this stuff and thinking that is the way we got to do it. I'm open to various ideas, but you know, the heart of it, I know capitalism is just fundamentally wrong and broken. And this kind of goes into Emilio Singh's point, and Emilio's another guy who's commented on my videos and subscribed to the channel for a long time, so I appreciate all his comments. So how do we reach people who are deep into the right, like QAnon? Sometimes I think when people are that far down the rabbit hole, there's no hope for them. So I think the strategy is you just got to improve education from a young age. You're not taught critical thinking until you get to university pretty much. So that has to be a staple of any secondary school education. That also goes hand in hand with actually teaching real history and not cherry picking it to make everyone a pro-capitalist, pro-Western, I guess, student. Because, for example, I'm lucky enough that I got to do a master's in international relations and also a history degree. When you're being taught history in school, you get shown, you know, communism, and then you go to Stalin's Russia and like massive famines, people eating baby parts and stuff, while you get shown the West intervening in places like Hungary to help them uprise against the Soviets. It warps your perception of all these things and fundamentally makes you against an ideology that is for your liberation and makes you pro-capitalist. So we've got to change that, and that's why I get so disheartened people like Jeremy Corbyn get really hounded out of politics, because they have these views and they want to make positive change, but it starts at the education level. And of course, America is even worse for things like patriotism, education, so it's not surprising. QAnon and all these really fringe groups thrive in the American context. So Jay Camacho is another guy who subscribed to me a long time, comments on a lot of stuff. So what strategy should progressives use when Biden is president? Go all in on the aggressive push of work within the system. Also, who are the future leaders of the movement besides AOC? So what should they do when Biden's president? I think they should campaign hard against him and his style of Democrats. You can't keep using forever that Republicans are so bad. You just must vote for whoever Democrats, the establishment Democrats choose. Let's remember, Bernie Sanders was set to win before they all dropped out and endorsed Biden and rallied around him. But in terms of, you know, other stuff, the stuff at the moment in Portland and everything, despite how dark it is, it's very refreshing to see this massive movement, and that's the main thing. You've got to pressure these people directly and remind them who is in charge. And why I like seeing this in America is because in Britain we had like 2 million people come out for some anti-Brexit protest. Didn't achieve anything. Why didn't it achieve anything? Because it's not civil disobedience. So while the cops are escalating this a lot, it is refreshing to see some of these elements commit civil disobedience. And with Extinction Rebellion in the UK, they did this and it got their message across, and that's what you got to do, I think. Besides AOC, there's a lot of different... Off the top of my head, I can't think of too many, but there's that one woman who... I forgot what she did exactly, but she got that government official to double down on coronavirus tests not costing anything. I forgot her name, but I really like her. I'm not sure of her exact politics, but that's the sort of fight you need in politics. Obviously, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar is probably my favourite in terms of her actual politics, because they are very in line with mine, and she says it like it is and she votes how she wants all the time, whereas I think AOC, not that she's been corrupted, but I think she does realise to an extent she is a massive rising star. She is extremely popular with young people, the future electorate. So many people on Twitter follow her, so many people retweet her. She, I think, has an eye at least on the New York Senate, maybe president one day. And of course, let's keep it real, Ilhan Omar gets a lot more abuse because she is both an African person and a Muslim. So Mark IT Geek says, how's the Brexit thing going? What are the pros and cons of leaving the EU? This is a really long thing to talk about. Basically, the cons are pretty much everything at this point. It's going to leave a massive labour shortage in this country, and it's going to leave a lot of important laws up for the Tories to decide. Obviously, the hard right Tories are in power right now, and that's something I really don't want. I've always said, The argument for Brexit was never an argument based on anything real or any economic grounds, because I always said I can make a better argument for leaving the EU than these Tory politicians if I believe in that stuff. For example, you could be like, when, you know, less migrant labour from the EU comes over, we're going to have a shortage of nurses and construction workers. So we're going to make a programme, instead of everyone going to university, they're going to go into these jobs, and we're going to have a British workforce, and we're going to, you know, give people who are unemployed better opportunities to enter these workforces. There's a solid argument for that sort of stuff there. I don't agree with this, because I'm not for, you know, closed borders and focusing on one, you know, race or nationality of people. But again, that is an economic argument that makes sense. Instead, what they just said in the campaign was, Turkey is going to join the EU so 100 million Muslims can freely move to Britain. That pretty much was the extent of it. There was no articulate argument about why it benefits us, because it largely doesn't. Of course, a lot of socialists hate the EU, just see it as a big, you know, boys club for corporations, can really spread their oppression easily through this trading bloc, which is fair enough. But at the same time, when hard-right Tories are handling this, incompetent ones at that, there is no benefit. So there's no way you should support leaving when the Tories are doing it. So Kaizoto Vince, another guy who subscribes to me for a long time, says, are there any leftists you don't agree with? I guess there's plenty of people I don't disagree with, but when I see all this bread tube drama online and everything, I just find it kind of silly, because everyone's an anti-capitalist, so surely we should come together. I do think some debates are worth having, and there's lots of people, you know, Peter Coffin follows me and I follow him. I don't agree with everything he tweets. Not that I get up in arms and I tweet back at him, but I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything people like Vaush says. I think it's Vaush or Vaush, whatever, because I made that video where he was talking about black nationalism being the same as white nationalism. Obviously, I don't agree with that. I watched some of his takes on his stream. I don't always agree with him, but that's just the nature, I guess, of politics. There's a lot of people I don't agree with necessarily on things like foreign policy, certain elements of domestic policy, but, you know, I'm not really super aggressive about it, because what's the point? I'm kind of consigned to the fact you can't change many people's minds. So fighting with other leftists on Twitter or YouTube is kind of pointless. I just think when there's stuff like what Vaush was saying about black nationalism and white nationalism being the same, can be helpful to have a debunking video just to show that, you know, this isn't the same. And a lot of people may be influenced by him, because he is a massive streamer and a massive YouTuber at this point. So two more light-hearted ones to end the Q&A. So Jan Aitor, who is a big subscriber to me, always comments on my stuff on Twitter and obviously my videos. Are there any video games and anime that you enjoy? Personally, I love Revu Starlight, would definitely recommend. Also, congrats on the 10k, dude, you deserve it and more. So nice of you to say. Anime, I'm not big on anime. I can't think of one I've really watched since I used to watch Beyblade and Pokemon when I was like 5 to 10 years old. Video games, yeah, you guys know I love video games. Last of Us was insanely good, so go check out my video if you want to hear my opinion on that. While I am debunking SJW talking points, it is sort of a review as well. Play Animal Crossing every day. Playing Ghost of Tsushima right now. I just downloaded Tannenberg, which is a World War I shooter, so I'm going to check that out tonight. It was only £15. But yeah, love video games, play them every single day. Mainly just a Switch, because I don't have time in the week because I'm so busy with my YouTube. But yeah, one of my favourite passions in life. So Jaina, who's another person who subscribes to me for a long time, a lot longer than a lot of other people actually. So any TV shows you recommend? You like my tweet about Westworld? I need more recommendations. So I did give her some on Twitter, but just to tell everyone else, please watch Mr. Robot. It is my favourite show. It's probably one of my favourite things of all time. I listen to the soundtrack every single day. I've been watching it again for the 4th time. It's so amazing. Cinematography, the soundtrack, the score, the acting, and just the global politics of it is so interesting. Makes you think about the future, makes you think about the times at the moment. There's a massive meme going around with all the protests. It's like, is this Mr. Robot season 5? Please watch it. I beg you. I beg you. I've made so many people watch it and they all like it. If this thing was on Netflix, it would explode. And I'm kind of frustrated it's not, but at the same time I like it because it's a little club, passionate people online, on Reddit, on Twitter, and we can just talk about how good it is and how great Rami Malek, other people like, you know, Carly Chaikin, Christian Slater, Martin Wallstrom, all these great people, and please watch it. Please, I'm begging you, I can't get across any more. It's so good, on Amazon Prime, all 4 seasons. I'm not going to drone on too much about the other shows, but Boardwalk Empire, I absolutely love. Set in the 1920s to the 1930s, about Prohibition. Just a really rich show, just amazing sets, amazing acting, so high budget. HBO obviously has a lot of quality. Mad Men, I absolutely love as well. Other things like House of Cards, American Crime Story, of course, talking about O.J. Simpson, Versace, very good. If you want a more weird one, which no one will recommend to you, Too Old to Die Young on Amazon Prime, directed by Nick Refn, who did Drive, Bronson, and you know, Only God Forgives and The Neon Demon. Very strange, starring Miles Teller. Please watch it if you like weird stuff, and if you've got a lot of patience. So the soundtrack is amazing, done by Cliff Martinez, who does, you know, Drive soundtrack and everything. So yeah, please check that out if you want something a bit different. So that's the thank yous and the Q&As out the way. Just, I guess, to end this video, let's talk about my history and the history of this channel. Some of you might not know. So at university, on my third and final year, doing my history degree, I started my own radio show. I came up with the idea of the Kavernacle name, but I was like, I'm not putting this on the radio show, it's too good. So I called it, you know, my first name and Podium, pretty crap name. But then on that show, I used to just talk about politics, and I would cut the show and put it on this YouTube channel. Now, I didn't really take it seriously to start with, and to be honest, my radio show wasn't always that good, because I was just doing it on my own. I'm proud I did it on my own, but again, not great. But in about December 2017, I started taking YouTube more seriously. I actually made an atheist and gaming channel to start with, which is a weird combination, but even as I got more popular, you know, a couple thousand subs, I was mainly an atheist channel, and doing debunkings of things that Ben Shapiro would say, talking about, you know, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, do all that sort of thing. I slowly changed it to politics at the end of 2018, and I was on about 4,000 subs at the end of 2018. And then, luckily, I used to post stuff on Reddit, but then I found BreadTube in about March 2019, and I kept posting my videos, getting good feedback and getting some likes. And then, at the end of March, I uploaded a video called A British Take on Bernie Sanders, and it got 24,000 views, but it got really good engagement in terms of I had like 2,000 likes, made a lot of money off it, and I got loads of subscribers from it. You know, I hit 5,000, eventually hit 6,000, and from there I became a politics channel. Some of you have been around for a lot longer. It was strictly politics. It was proper politics, like, you know, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, policies, recent news, all this sort of stuff. And it was hit and miss. You know, I'd get videos that would do 300 views, I'd get videos that would do 5,000 views. It was very, not consistent, and I would rely very heavily on Reddit. And I used to make a joke that BreadTube was my city because I was always on the front page. I remember one month, I think I had like over 1,000 upvotes, like 5 times. And then eventually, you know, started doing a lot better, and had some cool collaborations with people like the Humanist Report and the Surfs. Not massive, just one-off videos, but that was kind of helpful. Got me a couple hundred subs each. And then when, you know, I started full-time work in November, I was really worried because I was just exhausted all the time. I also played football 3 times a week, and I exercised, and I was just really tired to make these videos, and I was doing it on my phone and just responding to breaking news. It wasn't very good. The views were going down. In January, I was like, I can't stop the hard work I've done. I'm going to take this more seriously. So on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I'm going to get home from work, and I'm going to do my exercise and everything, but I'm going to be very, very disciplined, and I'm going to make a video and release it that night. So my video quality stayed pretty similar to what it had been before I started work. And obviously the coronavirus pandemic is awful and everything, but the good thing is I started working from home, loads and loads more time, getting out 3, 4, 5 videos a week. And I actually shifted my content because I made that video about Nazis in the furry community, and it did really well, and it sort of got me thinking, there can be a lot of topics like this, interesting topics that I can make and I can talk about. And to my surprise, and it makes me very happy, this new style of content I started doing has been very successful for me. Some of my best views, you know, monthly views of all time, best sub growth, and what I love so much about it is that it's not time sensitive. I don't have to respond to breaking news. It's just me creating stuff about things I find interesting. And I was so proud that little series I did, the toxic politics of the gaming community, I released 3 videos back to back, and they all did super well, and I was so proud of that because I was like, this is just my idea, this is my effort, this is me doing that. And to finish the video, I must say, I always found it hard to be proud of myself for anything. I kind of felt like with my life, I've been going through the motions of, well, I guess what people expect or just what you do. So, you know, I got really good grades in school, comparatively. I got a good degree in history, passed my driving test, started my own football team with my friends, and you know, you're proud of those things to some extent. I guess I was more proud of my masters because not many people do that, but again, I didn't find it too difficult, and I got good grades in that, and I just thought like, I'm going through the motions, I'm doing this because I like it, but again, it's you know, someone is feeding me what to do. It's not my own initiative. I'm doing these things really. I'm still in this, you know, a structure where I'm achieving these things. But with my YouTube specifically, what I'm so proud of, especially because I have a full-time job now, is that it's all my own work. It's me analysing what does well, it's me interacting with people, it's me creating thumbnails, editing stuff, writing scripts for things like my Last of Us video. And the fact that I could hit 1 million views, I've hit 1 million views now, and 10,000 subscribers makes me really proud of myself. And it might seem silly, but you're proud of 10,000 subscribers. You know, some people get that in one day. Look at Val, she has nearly 200,000 subscribers. Look at the Surfs, I have 40 something. Look at Humanist Report, he has 250,000. But to me, it's not always about like how many you have. To me, it's just showing that people like my stuff. And what I'm super proud of as well is that not only do I have 10,000 subs, at the moment I'm averaging at least 1,000 views every single video. I haven't had a video go below 1,000 views since I think April, and that just blows my mind. That's what I've always wanted. I've always said I'd be happy with 10,000 subs, 1,000 views, and 1,000 followers on Twitter. Not there on Twitter yet, but I have 800 followers, so I'm nearly there at the point I'd be happy, and the point that I could just put stuff out, see how people respond. Of course, as Anakin says in the prequels, I want more, and I know I shouldn't. Now that I've hit 10k, I want more. I want 15, I want 20, I want 30. Whether I will ever get there, I understand with my type of content, very, very niche. Left-wing politics doesn't do that well on YouTube as a whole. Obviously, there's very big channels, but compare it to right-wing grifters, there's so much more of them, and they do so much better. But I'm hoping I can keep growing this, and I'm going to be doing it for years to come. And it showed me, you know, I've been working hard at this for at least 2 years. I've taken it really seriously for about 1 year. And if I keep it up, hopefully I'll grow. You know, who knows, one day maybe it can be part of my overall job. I don't make much money off this at the moment. Patreon's the main source of income for my YouTube because everything I make gets demonetized, and I self-demonetize it because I want to get into YouTube's good graces a bit so I can monetize a lot more of my content. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of this channel in many ways, and I hope, you know, maybe there's more collaborations in future. I haven't really done that, and that's another part of why I'm so proud. I've seen a lot of channels who've gone from small to big. I'm not going to name anyone, but they've primarily done it through massive collaborations with really big leftist YouTubers, and they've done it multiple times. So of course I'm all for signal boosting, and that's a fine way to get big, don't get me wrong. Of course I probably accept that, but why I'm so proud is that I have never ever really had someone consistently shout me out, feature me on their channel. I'm not going to get loads of subs from another channel because I just don't feature anywhere else. So the whole growth of my channel is pretty much just down to me. It's down to my work, it's down to me figuring out what topics to do, it's down to, you know, marketing it on Reddit and everything. And that makes me even more proud because it's totally my own thing, where now, thankfully, I'm big enough where I can talk about pretty much what I want, and it does well. This video probably won't do too well because it's about me personally, but you get what I'm saying. So if anyone has stuck around to the end, massive, massive thank you to everyone who likes, comments, even if you just watch. And even if, you know, maybe you watched a video like 6 months ago and you just clicked on this because it says 10,000 subscriber special or something, thank you as well. I appreciate people giving up their time to watch my content. And as someone, people have asked me, who do I watch on YouTube? I don't watch many people on YouTube. I watch, you know, some gaming channels and stuff. I watch things like the Easy Allies podcast. That's what I do to really detox from the real world and politics. So I understand how valuable people's time is and how you just want to do anything else. So the fact that some of you will not only give me Patreon money, but will like, subscribe, comment, share my videos, it just means so much to me, and I really, really appreciate it. I've always felt bad for wasting people's time, but I'm just kind of trying to embrace that people might like what I'm putting out at this point. And just one more thing to end with, thanks to my girlfriend who, although hasn't always watched all my videos, she has a lot recently in the last 6 months or so, but she's always supported me and always recognised how much work I put in. I think she's the only person who knows how hard I really work at this, because obviously she knows me better than anyone else, and she sees how much time I spend on this. And then thanks to some of my friends as well, thanks to my younger brother as well for always been someone who's good to talk to about YouTube stuff. Thanks to a lot of my friends who have spoke to me about these things and given me feedback and given me ideas for videos. I really, really appreciate it. And as you can tell from me gushing a bit, I'm just super grateful that I can even have 10,000. You know, you might think it sounds ridiculous. You might think it's really, really small and I shouldn't care. But I do, and I'm really proud that I made it this far, and if nothing else, I can say that I made a YouTube channel that at least got 10,000 views solely on my own work. So yeah, if you like the video, please leave a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. If you're new, if this is your first video, which would be very, very weird, subscribe. If you want to find me on social media, if you haven't already, at the Kavernacle for Twitter, also on Facebook and Instagram. Reddit is a very big one for me. r/the_Kavernacle for my subreddit, u/TommyCahill1995 for my personal Reddit. Feel free to message me on any of these platforms. I'm not very quick to respond, but I pretty much do respond to everything. If you want to check out my Patreon with, you know, the things I've been talking about, please check it out in the description. Things like Medium and WordPress in there as well. And if you made it this far, if you subscribe to my channel, if you've liked my videos, and if you've been around for a while, I just super appreciate it. And thank you for watching all my content.